your host and founder of the show, B Note. He's your co-host, your favorite trucker's favorite trucker, Esyduhzit.
Yes,
What's up
sir.
with it, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm over in Jefferson City, Missouri right now, man. Just dropped off a load. So, just
Ooh.
tapping in for the week right before the weekend hit, man.
Jeff City. Okay. I know
Yeah,
all
yeah.
about Jeff City.
Oh yeah, you know something about Jefferson City?
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah. I was out there like back in 2007, 2008.
okay,
Uh
okay.
I don't know, is Jeff City the one that got Big Dance? Or that might be a
Uh
little bit further from there. I know that's where
yeah.
we had went. That's where they had tricked me into going back in the day. Cause I didn't fool with strip clubs, so they had to trick me into
Oh,
going.
okay. Yeah, I haven't been since I was a kid, bro. My mom went to Lincoln University down in Jefferson City. So I went as a child when I was
Okay.
young. So that's my
Okay.
first time being back here since I was like a little kid, like 4, 5 years old or something.
Oh yeah, I know that was straight then.
Yeah, it was cool.
Let's get to our first segment.
Yes, sir.
Some news you can use. I can't wait till we get the graphics for it. It's gonna be a whole lot different.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna start off with the Diddy and Cassie situation. So
Man.
okay, so Cassie's testimony against Diddy Combs ends after she spent days describing abuse, basically like 20 hours or something like that, is what I read.
Okay.
So it says Cassie finished testifying in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial Friday after 4 emotional days on the witness stand,
Hmm.
during which she was questioned about the deepest, most disturbing secrets of her life. Now, I read a lot of stuff. Basically, it's sounding like the charges that they charging him for are not what I mean. You can't really charge him for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just
Yeah.
him being a freak.
It's not
It-
against
It's
the
just
law to be a
it's
freak. You know what I'm
it
saying?
ain't a
Like,
crime to be a freak. He was just
yeah.
freaky. Now she describes a lot of different stuff that goes on, but some of it now I did read where it said that a text message about where she was like invited too. She was with it in the beginning.
Yeah, I've heard of man. I've been kind of following this thing, just little by little from the beginning of it, man. Like when he first paid her off, like to not
Yeah.
say nothing, and then like weeks or a couple months later, it turned into this big old thing. Like I really, and I I think Cassie is I don't believe she's a complete victim, but I don't think she's a complete participant. I think she's somewhere in that middle space.
Yeah.
I me personally, I think it's fucked up for a person to participate and then get paid and then testify against the person they was participating with that paid them. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
that's
Like
that's
that's
my
where it
thing
get
with it.
weird to it. Like you got paid off, so you can't testify again. I mean, I get it. That's kind of like the whole, snitching thing. If me and you commit a crime or whatever, and they come to me and whatever. So I get it from that aspect, but yeah, I think that's still kind of fucked up though. Like, and I've even
It's-
heard like people kind of come out who knew Puffy's wife, that Kim lady from back in the day who passed on,
yeah.
RP to her, but I've heard stories before this even really kicked off where Cassie was kind of more of an instigator in some of this stuff, and she enjoyed this stuff until she felt it's like it's pros and cons to everything with everybody, right? So
Right.
you enjoyed all the good stuff when it was fun for you, but then soon as it was inconvenient for you, you know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you're a victim and it's the end of the world, and you was trapped and you was being groomed and all these other triggering terms that they kind of come up with. So, I think it's a gray area to it. Like I said, I think it's kind of messed up that you can participate, then get paid off to be quiet, and then turn around and testify anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the part I think is messed up. I
Yeah.
think that, she was dealt with way back a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why she came out is I remember reading is that her husband really the one that was pushing it for her.
He felt the way. And I
Yeah, he
think it's
felt a
cause more
certain way.
so because what she was saying positioned herself in such a victim stance that he like, oh no, there's no way you can keep this to yourself. But I think
Right.
the more this starts to come out in this court cases and stuff like that, he made some things may be revealed that he wasn't too privy on, that he only caught her end of it, not the real story. So I
Yeah.
think I'll be shocked if they still rocking out when all of this is said and done.
He'll stay.
I'll be shocked.
He- He'll still end
I
up
mean,
being.
she got that money now, so I mean, it'd be crazy to
Yeah,
lose
he ain't
that.
going nowhere. He just it's
And
just gonna be hard for him to listen to everything that's coming out because he gonna know
yeah,
she was actually a willing participant in some of
a
it.
yeah, a willing participant. Like I heard to the point where she would even take part in the abuse of that lady Kim, like the embarrassment, kind of the not really the physical, but she would be around for the physical abuse of that lady Kim, and she would she would be there witnessing this and still willingly participate and hang out and be around for the lifestyle. I don't think it's okay to blame, Diddy for, oh, he groomed me and gave me this lifestyle, so I had no choice but to stay. Like, that's
Right.
insane to me.
Right.
Anybody can point a finger at anybody, say, oh, well, they gave me something, so it's not my fault. I just had no choice but to do it. That's
But
insane, bro.
she was saying that it was, he had that blackmail on her, and once you get videos and stuff like that on a person, it was kind of more of mind control at that point.
But the blackmail was no different. If anything, Cassie had the upper hand, which she did because he had to pay her off. So what was different between 10 years ago or however long ago all this was really in the, midst of transpiring? What was the difference between then and, when this first kicked off and she wasn't with him, she wasn't together with him and all this? Like she was already married with somebody else before any of this even came out.
That's the whole thing about it. You know
So
what I'm
what
saying?
we
She had
talking about?
already
She
moved
couldn't get
on,
away. She
so
was
she was
pregnant and
already
all this
gone.
shit.
She was
That's
already
what I'm
gone and
saying.
with another person and everything.
Married the whole nine. So what you mean she couldn't have got away before? What was the difference? It wasn't like it came out and the whole trial thing and she used that as a way to get away from him. She was already gone and moved on with her life. So to give her this excuse, you know, X amount of years ago, like there was any difference, I think
Right.
is that's the BS that I'm talking about. Like I understand that Diddy may have did some fucked up, weird, freaky shit. I'm not taking that. I'm not saying that, but as far as Cassie being put as the extreme victim, that's where I'm like, all right, pump y'all brakes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
A lot of it too, they trying to establish the type of character that Diddy had by using
yeah,
Cassie because that's the only thing that she could be doing at this point. You know what I'm saying? Her
right,
testimony really is pointless because that's already
right.
been said. It ain't like that. Now, what they could have did back then was went for domestic, but you notice they didn't even go for that, so they went for
Didn't
civil.
they didn't even attempt to go for domestic. No, at no point was no police called saying he abused me, he did this, you know what I'm saying? Like no restraining orders or nothing was put in place. There was at no point no police phone calls made. He just attacked me. Come on now, you can't have it both ways. You can't not give no effort to get away and then say I'm a victim. I couldn't leave, but you was
Yeah,
already gone. But it was already gone when all this kicked off, though.
yeah, that's the thing, and none of this kicked off until after he won that lawsuit against that liquor company.
Exactly, she was a plant,
None of this
and
kicked
she
off until the end.
she was a planning guy, and she was used to set him up, bro. Because of
That's,
that. I,
that,
I think you had spoke to that. I think I don't know if it was me and you talking on here the last time Wednesday or just in conversation at a different point. But yeah, I believe yeah, I think it happens like that all the time now. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get on some other topics that I think
yeah, that's why it's kind of hard to just these days it's easy to just take the woman's side and believe her, but nowadays you have to really sit back and get all the facts before you do that because it's starting to come to light that these women be lying and be
man,
just as involved as the men.
it been came to the light. It's just that,
They ain't want to
man,
acknowledge
there's a system, there's a structure to destabilize and keep
the
things,
masculine man.
no, to keep things just crazy in America to I think it's a I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory when it comes to stuff like this. And
Yeah, me
man,
too.
I really be feeling like, man, it's really all just like I said before, like whatever type of diversion and traps they can put out for the American people to keep us here, there, and everywhere and not focused on the real shit that they got going on. That's what it is.
It says that Cassie did try to date two other times after Diddy before this marriage, which was Kid Cudi and Michael B. Jordan. But say
Hmm.
Diddy, uh, now I don't know how true this is. This is allegedly, but it says that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car and threatened Michael B. Jordan. So that's why none of that
Right.
never happened.
Right. I heard some about the Kid Cudi thing, maybe, but um that's that happened every day. That happens every day. Like stuff like that, like not blowing up the car, but you get these situations where the man and the woman then kinda broke up, but still, every other time they done broke up they still fuck around, so it's still confusion as far as what we are, what we doing. And then you get one or the other, male or female, because it happened on both ends, where the other person start trying to deal with somebody else and ain't fully let go and completely got done with what they had, the situation they was in. Maybe she
Yeah,
tried to just dip off. If okay, Diddy, we all know that Diddy gonna stunt, he gonna throw money, do all this type of stuff. If just figuratively speaking, if I'm Diddy and if I'm dealing with this girl, whatever, whatever, and I'm giving her the world, I'm flying her everywhere, doing whatever she want, getting, what I'm saying, probably buying all type of cars and jewelry, bags, all type of shit. And then all
right.
of a sudden I look up and you somewhere with some dude, you're not gonna be mad. You're not gonna feel away just because we were
Yeah,
technically on. We got into it, so we wasn't talking for a week or some shit like that. And on they level, ain't no telling where they was. Probably two different parts of the world and all type of stuff. So, man, I can. And again, even with him blowing up somebody's car and something like, didn't nobody call no police? Why he ain't in jail for that?
well, I mean, who's you gonna call?
Call the police. This man just blew up
Yeah,
my fucking car.
he couldn't prove it.
Diddy ain't that big to where it can't be traced, or to where if he get, he on charges right now. He ain't that big to where if somebody would have said something that he's doing something and it could be proven that he was, that he wasn't gonna get in trouble for it. So
Man,
I don't
some
know.
of the stuff that they are alleging he was doing, if it's true, he had to have somebody protect him because some of that stuff is
Well,
just
you got to
outrageous.
know at this
Now,
point that he had some type of protection around him, to look
yeah,
out for him. But he not above the law as we see right now. So that's what I'm
well,
saying.
I think it's only because of what he started doing. Like they say they'll protect you as long as you acting right. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
yeah.
once you go to acting outside of what they feel like you should act, then
You
they'll
out of there.
make an example out of you. And I
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of what happened with Diddy because this been going on for years. It
Right.
ain't like it
Right.
just started that he just started having freak offs and parties. Diddy been having these parties since the 90s.
Long time ago, bro. Ain't none of this new. So yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. So I mean, on the one end, it's like you got to you knew this was coming. You knew this was part of the game. Just like if you want to be in the streets, you're going to take them losses. But at the same time, that still don't make, the allegations and all the other shit right necessarily. Like them putting him in this position knowing, everybody doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not what he's doing is not against the law. Like I was saying, I forgot if I was talking to you or somebody else. What's the dude name? That had the Playboy Mansion. There's no difference in what
He
he
was
had
happy.
going on.
Yeah.
No
Right.
difference, except for he had one. So he may have been smarter in having one central location for everybody to come to him instead of him flying and doing all that, and possibly breaking some state laws and shit like that. But
Yeah.
if you taking a plane, like if you going on to the other side of the country and meeting up with some dude and he didn't flew you out and y'all supposed to be linking, like how many people can go to jail for that technically?
Yeah, man,
Vacations is a thing, bro. Vacation is a
yeah,
whole
like
term.
do you know it's a lot of people that would be in jail right now?
A lot. A lot of us regular people too. We didn't,
Yeah,
spend some money to go across and mess with this one.
we've done that
Yeah.
before.
So again, what he is getting charged for, I don't understand. Like,
That's why it's like it's a fishing experiment to me. It seemed like because it's like
mhm.
what is it that they can really charge him with legally?
They
You know what
just
I'm saying?
dragging them
The
through the
main
mud.
thing that they had, it's already settled on. And that was the Cassie
Exactly.
situation because you had the video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She said, and
Right. They had Diddy dead to rights with that video. Like if they would have
yes,
really pursued criminal charges for domestic assault and battery and all that, they would have had his ass dead to rights for that.
but they didn't go after that. They went after the money as usual.
Exactly. So I
And
think
now,
it's
one thing
just
Cassie did say, she said that the baby oil didn't have it was just regular baby oil. The only thing he would have her he would have her heat it up. Now I don't know what he was doing with some heated up
they
baby oil, but
microwaved
that,
it.
yeah, they she she had to warm it up for him to make it. I
Oh
guess
man,
make it
what
right.
is? Oh no,
Yeah, they was on some weird shit. Like it
they
was
was on that. They was on that candle wax type type shit.
yeah,
Be
it
burning each
got
other,
kind of
man.
crazy. Now,
But
I think where they going to kind of turn the tides is when some of these sex workers and some of these people start testifying. Now, I don't know if they can really get them for something with them because now if he paid them to come have sex, that's going to be a totally different story
yeah,
because
and they
they was there specifically for that. So
yeah,
that's going to
but
make a difference.
at the same time, it's going to depend on what they can determine as paying for sex. Because is
Mm.
paying for the plane ticket paying for sex? Is paying for like
They're gonna have to
rooms
prove
or
that he paid specifically for sex. Just because I flew you
that's
out there,
exactly that's what I'm saying. Like so that's gonna be that's gonna be tough. I'm gonna be interested to see how this turn out, but that's gonna be tough. I really feel like the all of this is just to drag his name through the mud. I really feel like that's really all it is. It's a smear
yeah,
campaign.
you gotta understand what Diddy was about to start a black political party.
Hmm.
When he made that announcement, everything for him changed
Yeah.
because they no, you can't do that. Not with our money, you just won. He had
Right,
just won he just won
right,
that lawsuit too, and they
right.
like, oh no, they had to
They
get some
trying
of
to
that back.
drain him. They gonna throw
Yeah,
him
they're
through
gonna
the
get it
mud
back.
in the public, so he can't make no money, and then they gonna make him spend all that money with all these lawyers and fees and court fees and all
Yeah.
that. Yep,
It's
then make it
eight
to where he
weeks
can't make no
worth of
money.
It's gonna be an 8 week trial, so it's got plenty of time. This was just day 5, I believe, 4 or 5, something
Boy,
like that.
it's gonna be some crazy shit coming out,
It's about to
man.
be,
Like,
yeah.
mm,
They say the prosecution got a key witness where they had a key witness, but all of a sudden the lawyer and the witness just done kind of disappeared and stopped responding. They done
man,
got
ain't no
that check.
yeah, probably ain't no telling what's going on. Ain't no telling what's going on,
They
bro.
done got that check. They said, "Shit, fuck that. We ain't even gonna get involved."
For real. I mean, it just this whole thing is just a mess, bro. It's just messy. It's really not even a point. What is he on trial for? What is he gonna go to jail for? For real, for real. Like, is he in any of the charges that he got? If he gets convicted of them, how much time is he really even doing for this stuff?
Like, I mean, what can they really prove that he did? The only thing that they had was the domestic violence situation, but that
Right.
ain't what's on trial. So the charges that the racketeering, the let me see, let's see,
I feel like this
sex
exact same thing they
trafficking,
did to R. Kelly.
racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Those his charges.
Mm.
He
Now, see
pleaded
that like
not guilty and denied all of the allegations against him.
I think when it comes to the stuff like the racketeering and stuff like that, I think it's so many little things that can be kind of looped into what that can be considered or
Yeah,
classified under, that they can maybe, like you said, it's a fishing expedition. They just trying to throw something and see if something stick, if they can make something look good enough to stick.
yeah.
So
I
it's a
don't think
sad
they're gonna be able to
situation.
get him on the sex trafficking because that was more consensual than anything.
Yeah.
And you can't really prove that he was bringing them there for sex just because they ended up having sex.
Unless it's a
Uh,
way that you can though. Unless they have something that proves it, but I think it's gonna be hard though. Yeah.
how can you prove that just with somebody? It's gonna be somebody's word. Just because I paid you this, don't mean that's what it was for.
It can be through text message or email or something like that.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't that stupid.
You never know. You know, he been doing this since the '90s, bro.
Now
He
he
never
did he
thought.
messages from Cassie that and he turned the ties with that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he started showing text messages where she was talking about how she enjoyed it and she was like asking, "Do you want me to get this person?" and she got mad about something and told him to go get Kim then or something like that. Like, yeah,
I'm trying to tell you.
he
I'm
had
trying to
some of his
tell you.
own.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We gonna see how it go though, bro. This is
It's
insane.
gonna it's got a lot that's gonna come out. It's gonna be a lot of people that I think gonna come out inside of it too. They
Yeah.
already listing some pretty good names. I can just imagine the rest that's gonna come out with it.
Man, I seen this post where it said things ain't been the same since Cat Williams was sitting on Shannon Sharp couch. And bro, it
Cat
just
said
seemed
that
like
though.
it been coming out left and right that all last year, and it just hasn't stopped. Everything, and everybody getting exposed.
Cat said that was gonna be the year everything started, and it
Mm.
did, and now
Yep,
it's just steady going.
steady going with everything.
Everything.
Man,
Let's see. Next topic is I know you seen this the Tory Lanez and the Megan Thee Stallion situation.
same thing.
So yeah,
same
and
same
this is what's
thing.
crazy about this. Okay, so Tory just got stabbed 14 times.
Got stabbed up,
Right
man.
after that, his team finds new evidence. So it says,
Right before that, I heard it was right before that.
well, I heard it was after, but
Oh,
it
okay.
either way it go,
Yeah,
it's funny that they're claiming with it, coming with it now. Tory Lanez shooting case takes a turn with new claims about Megan Thee Stallion.
yeah.
Said on Wednesday, a legal team saw justice in the case of Tory Lanez. They presented new evidence that suggests he never fired the weapon the night Megan Thee Stallion was shot in Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
Hills,
Mm-hmm.
saying that it was what's that girl name? Kylie. Is that what they
Ali,
ain't that who they
I
saying?
think that's it. One of them.
Bailey? Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Is it that Jenner girl, Kylie Jenner? Is that who
I'm
we talking
thinking
about?
Kelsey. No, it's
Kelsey.
Kelsey. Okay,
Okay.
so his attorney is Walter Roberts. Attorney Walter Roberts spoke about Lane's innocence and said the rapper never fired the weapon and that it was Megan's former best friend, Kelsey Harris, who shot her that night.
Yeah. I seen that. I've been seeing that. My thing is, first off, why you wait until after he done got charged and sentenced and everything to come with this now? Everybody had been
That's
saying, like, everybody who wasn't emotionally charged about the situation and just by default running to Meg Thee Stallion's defense. Like, if you stop and look at the situation, it just didn't make no sense. What sense does it make for Tory Lanez to pull out a semi-automatic rifle and shoot at somebody's feet?
a
What
female
sense
at
do
that.
that make? A female that he was fucking. What sense does that make? It never made no sense, bro. And everybody knew that Meg Thee Stallion was lying off the rip,
I mean, when
off
she
her
lied to who
interview.
was it? Gail. She lied to
Gail,
Gail. And then
yeah,
it came out she was lying about that. Like she been lying
that's
this whole damn situation.
the whole time, man. Just another example of everybody rushing to immediately defend the woman, protect all women, believe all women, and man, it's messed up because some of the real situations can be overlooked or swept under the rug or whatever because there's so much of the fake shit going on. And then the fake people, you know what I'm saying, they come out and they cry wolf and the woe is me and all this other stuff, and then you know what I'm saying. It's like, how do you? Then they get mad when you don't believe them. It's like, come on now, you didn't have to do Tory like that.
What's gonna happen, bro, is if this keep happening, it's gonna end up being like the boy that cried wolf situation. Cause then once these women start hollering rape, people gonna stop being believing them.
It's too late. They
You
already
know what I'm
talked to some
saying?
black.
And it's gonna get to a situation to where you should have been, you gonna need it to be believed because it might have been real. But
Yeah,
because of these Megans and these whole type of situations like this, it's gonna make it hard. Men
yeah.
gonna have to. I mean, like black men really got to be careful these days.
You better believe
You, I
these
mean, men in
days
general, but it's black men for some reason that's really being attacked with.
because we the easiest target, bro. We easy. We bottom of the food chain. We easy to get. And a lot of no disrespect, but a lot of these women are just government agents, bro, used against us. What it
Yeah,
is. Whether they know
I,
it or
I've,
not,
I've
whether it's on purpose or not. They've been used
I've heard that.
since Section 8 and welfare and food stamps, where the government gave resources to remove the man from the house. And from that point moving forward, whether they know it or not, whether it's on purpose or not, whatever, a lot of these ladies been government agents.
Yeah,
Is how it
that's I
is.
can see that. I can see that. It's like once you get to a certain level, you really become a target. That's when your eyes really have to be open. Because look at
Yeah.
Shannon. Even though his situation is a little different because he was just trying to pay for something, but he shouldn't
Yeah.
have been going that young. You know what I'm saying? All of them having to go through something where they learning from it.
That's true. That's true. But none of it is illegal. It's not illegal. It's
No, it's
just
not illegal.
it's morally wagging a finger at him because get over there, little black boy. You know you ain't supposed to be over here doing this. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. So even though morally for a lot of us it's still wrong. I'm not nowhere near 50, but I'm still not talking to no 20-year-old at all.
Nah,
It's just
nah.
not gonna
Shit, I
happen,
damn near got
bro.
a daughter that age. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, I got
there's
little
no way I can
sisters
talk
and
to
all
somebody
type of. It just
that
ain't gonna
age.
happen for me. And the same thing with the Diddy thing. Like I'm not doing none of that. But it's and I think morally, personally, I'm not doing none of that. But it's not about morals or none of that when it comes to trying to put somebody in jail and ruining their well being and then ruining their
Right,
life. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So that's it's and what I was gonna say as far as talk to some black women. Oh, I know a lot of black women who honestly majority of them who say they didn't got essayed and touched on and all this as children growing up. And at some point somebody didn't believe them or swept it under the rug or this, that, and the third. And
Yeah,
so as far as you saying like it's going to become a thing where people don't believe them, it's been a thing. Women pointing the finger at men wrongfully has already been a thing, and then the women who actually excuse me go through something not being believed because their circumstances look a little funny has already been a thing for a long time. And so what we got to do is we got to get the women who really go through these things, who are really sincere about these things, to be vocal and weed out those women who are doing this and just fucking people over. Like we got to have some type of, you know what I'm saying, like uh come to Jesus moment, almost like something gotta shake. Otherwise it's just gonna keep getting bad.
we got to start community. The worst thing we did back then was not talk about nothing. Remember, because that's how we was taught coming up. Swept
Yep.
everything under the rug. When
Yep.
all the secrets was under the rug, we should have been flipping that thing over.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean,
realize, bro.
yeah.
I saw this post. And it was saying something about like this is a free space and you can talk about whatever. So a lot of women was talking about how, like you said, they were either sexually assaulted or something like that back in the day, and they were told either not believed or they was told to not say something. And a lot of times it was like an uncle or an older cousin, or you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
A
it's
lot of that.
crazy how often that went on, and a lot of us, we going about our daily thing, never really paid attention to it. But it
Right.
was always, and just about every family had a family member that were kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah, it happened a lot, man. It still happens. So,
Yeah.
man, that's man, I just that's crazy. It's so fucked up too, bro. It's like, man, I it's when I tell you at least 90% of especially black women tell me to at some point, it happens. It's like, why are these numbers so high? And it's like
Well, I mean,
they
even something as small as being in the club and you walking by and a dude grab your ass. That's basically what that is.
that's true. And you know what? Not too long ago, who was that I was watching? Charleston White. He's so funny, bro. I fuck with Charleston White. But he was saying how technically, if you really start paying attention to the laws, it's a lot of the stuff that we think is cool that's really technically
It's really
you
not.
yeah, like technically by law, you can go to jail for it. And
Yeah.
so now the kind of iffy thing is that a lot of the ladies be really kind of pushing that a little bit. Like they like that type of excitement type shit, but it's right there on that line, and we the ones that get in trouble for it. So we have to
Yeah.
be the ones to really put a stop to it because they don't get in trouble for it, and it excites them a little bit. That like the young girl with the Shannon situation. The whole choking thing. Women love to be choked until they don't like you, and then that choking is not so kinky, cool, cute no more.
Right.
So depending on how you saying it and how it can
Right.
be worded and phrased through text, you can get man Shannon going through it right now. So
I had a chick
man,
before that liked to be choked. And the first time it's really weird when you
it's a
ain't, you
little
know what I'm saying?
weird.
Because you don't know,
Yeah,
you like, do I am I doing it too hard? Am I not doing it hard enough? It's like, but
man, it's
yeah,
a
it's
slippery
some out
slope.
there that like that type of shit. I had
That's
never did that before, but it's
man. It's I
good
can't.
fun now. I
It
don't mind.
been but you still just got to be careful with it though. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. But I mean, majority of women
Hand
like
and
it.
put it on their neck, and you
That's
be like, oh,
that's
you
what I'm
like that.
that's what I'm
You like
saying,
that.
bro. That's what I'm saying. They'll do it for you, but then again, they tiptoe on that line, and we end up tiptoeing on that line and falling off that other side. For us is jail. Falling off that
Yeah,
other side for them is, oh, he did this to me and I feel bad. So we gotta make sure we take extra steps and don't care what
we have to.
too many men, and I think it gets misconstrued with actions because men's actions for what they're going for is different. But men really are ultra sensitive to what women say and what they say they like and don't like.
Hmm.
So men really be just posturing whatever they can to get what we want out of it, but they'll give women everything they want just to get that. And man, I think that's been the biggest detriment of anything, bro. I think that been the biggest issue of all, as far as the relationship, aspect of things and of life. But
Yeah,
yeah, too many men is just so thirsty to get attention. Like it's insane, bro.
yeah, I agree with that. A lot of that is because of social media. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want
Yeah.
their little 15 minutes of fame.
Right.
Everybody want
Right.
they little spotlight, even if it's just a few weeks or whatever. They just
Hmm.
want it. You know what I'm saying? Because they believe it's gonna take them somewhere, and half the time that don't get you nowhere.
Let me get my new light cracking. Let me make sure you feel me.
You
All
know,
right, we good.
so let me ask you this: with this whole with the Tory Lanez and Megan situation, with Cassie and Diddy, does that would that make men trust women's word less?
Yeah, man, men don't believe women, bro. We know better than that. No
Yeah,
disrespect
some
to.
that do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Mhm.
always you can't say all to any. You know what I'm
Cause
saying?
look at
Like,
Shannon.
I don't think he believed her necessarily. I think he was trying to get what he
He
wanted
probably
and got
thought
caught
that
up.
girl really liked him and really wanted to have his big black baby.
No, Shannon knew better than that shit. He better
Yeah, he
have
knew better. He would
if
have
she.
did better.
You think so? I don't think so.
I don't.
'Cause
I
I think he
think
was getting what he wanted. He was smashing
you
that
gotta
little young chick.
understand. You gotta understand though. Even though he in the Hall of Fame and he ain't never had this type of success, this level of fame. That he was about to get this $100 million deal. This, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so for him, coming from, he always talk about he come from Savannah, Georgia, and
yeah.
small town. So
But he been famous
being
for
at that,
so long, bro. He done told stories
yeah, but it's a
about.
different level when you then hit that Cat Williams level of fame. He wasn't really that famous and like that until that interview, where it went like
Mm,
global. It was with us, yeah, of course, and then the football world, but
yeah, okay.
half the that. But how many people was that? You had to know football from back then to really know who he is now, because he ain't even considered the greatest tight end. That went to Gronk and Travis Kelce.
I mean, but
So
he had been on the what's that show with Skip? He had been
he
on
just got on
Undisputed.
it though. Yeah, but you got to think
He been on there for years, bro. He been on there for
Undisputed didn't
years.
take off until really 20, right around COVID, because it wasn't really that popular. You know what I'm saying? It was First Take. First Take always been the number one show for like damn near 20 years straight. And then Undisputed started
Yeah,
coming because Skip was on First Take first.
yeah, that was a long time ago though.
And then
But
he started Undisputed with Shannon. And it
that
wasn't
was
really,
some.
I mean, it was all right, but you got to think, even at his height, it wasn't really getting that many views. Maybe 100,000 a day compared
Ah,
to
I
First
don't
Take
know.
getting 500,000.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
I
much.
don't. I don't think that had anything to do with Shannon per se. Shannon is what kept Undisputed going. Like nobody.
Yeah, once
If if you see Undisputed now, it's trash. It's not
it ain't even
getting
on
near
no
the.
more.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And you see the numbers for ESPN First Take when he was on there. Like his numbers shot up. So I get what you're saying, but I just don't think Shannon Sharp would have been that enamored by some little 20-year-old girl just because he got more money.
Shit, I don't know. He like him young. That's what he
Yeah.
say. He don't like he don't care about the age. He pay his wage. Remember, that's what he said.
Right. Yeah. 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 He did say that. I don't see how that's paying. I don't. That didn't look like no $20 million, $50 million nothing that he was. But wait,
Um,
whatever. To each his own, my boy. To each his
that didn't look
own.
like 1,000, but
Nothing. I'm not even coming near you. First of all,
I
you
ain't
look
nowhere
like a
near.
little bitty child, so I'm not even looking your direction.
Yeah,
I might feel like a pedophile even looking at you. No, hell no.
yeah, because the first thing gonna come to my mind is my daughter. You know what I'm saying? You my daughter's age.
Yeah,
Like, nah,
you
you
little.
too
No.
young.
Hmm.
That would be
Yeah,
crazy.
but his ass got caught up.
Um,
So hey, you live and you learn, baby.
do you feel like with the way that social media portrays black women today, do you feel like they have a certain image?
Man, black women have been having an image per se for a little while. They've been saying angry black woman for a little while now. I think social media has shifted that image
Into
to
ratchet.
more into ratchet
More.
culture. Like you get
Yeah.
the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallions and the Sexy Reds, and you get all the little young girls wanting to emulate that. So it's not,
Yep. The
it's not that
Glorilla and all of
it's
that. Yeah.
right, right. It's not the angry black woman anymore. It shifted from the angry black woman to the uh the whole phase. You know what I'm saying? Doing all the
Because I mean,
freaky
we
shit.
had we had Trina, we had Lil Kim, but they wasn't ratchet with it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they talked they shit with it, we had Nikki, but
Right.
they still had like a touch of class to it. To me, it seemed like
Right. Yeah, they weren't
more
they
than
weren't
what this
flat
shit
out
is.
vulgar. They weren't, well, I take that back. They kind of
No,
were.
Trina,
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. That's why I had to slow down. There's not, but they
Lil
still
Kim,
had like the skill set and everything like that to really
yeah,
back it. Now it's
yeah,
just flat out the nastiest shit you can come up with.
whatever you can
I think
say,
that's the difference. Yeah, the
the
most
most
raunchy
ratchet
shit
shit
you
you
can
can
come up
say.
with. Lil Kim came with bars. Look, like Trina could rap her ass off. Like I don't
Trina
think
can
they
actually rap.
necessarily, yeah, they didn't have to come with that stuff, but that's just what they wanted to talk about. But So it was different back then. Like, of course, with a woman, you know, sexuality, sensuality is their thing. So of course they gonna want to kind of drift into those topics, but it's a whole nother thing when you're talking about booty holes, nigga. Like, and that's all you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the
It's
gist
a
of the
way to be
song.
sexy and still be classy with it. Like a lot of
Right.
people think, a lot of women today think you have to be sexy and have to show everything, be revealing. And what they don't realize is men really don't want that as far as in their partner.
They don't
That ain't
care
never
what
eye
men
candy
want.
does. That's what they don't understand.
They don't care what men want. Women don't. Man,
Oh,
look.
they do. That's who they doing it for. They act like they don't.
No,
But they have
no,
to, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be outside, as they say.
no,
They ain't
no.
outside for each other.
Yeah, they is.
Some
Yeah,
of
they
them.
are. Nah,
Some of them.
all of them. They
No,
don't.
not
None
all.
of them give a damn what no man is.
Not
Because
all of them.
if they
I ain't
was
gonna
out
put
there,
that on all of them.
if they was out there for men, we only talking about the ones that's out there. If they was out there for the men, then they would. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's what
they
they
not.
got the booty shorts on for. That's what they got. They
They
thinking,
doing
but
it
you
to
gotta
impress other
understand the type of
women.
man they out there for. They not
No.
out there for the type that got some boundaries about itself, or you know what I'm saying? They out
Mm-mm.
there for the niggas.
I gotta
That's the
disagree, bro.
difference.
They out there for the niggas' money. They
That's
looking
what I'm
to.
talking about. And the
They
niggas
looking
that
to.
got that type of mentality that's gonna spend that money.
Right, but they not doing like, and even the ones like, not every one of them that's out there like that does it for those reasons. Like, one thing that bothers me looking on social media is the amount of older women in a late 30s and 40s that's willing to shake
40s.
their ass on the social on internet on social
Nobody
media.
wanna hold each other accountable, it seems like.
That's no, they don't.
They
Women
wanna the
women get
older
offended
women
when
wanna
we do
fit
that.
in with the younger women today instead of
Yeah,
they didn't take the time to teach them. They just want to
no,
be their friend and shit. And that's what I used to have that problem with my baby mom, and I used to tell her, "You're not their friend." You know what I'm saying? You got your own friends. So you need to know that they need to know that you're the parent
yeah.
and not their friend.
This
Cause
is
you
why
know,
fathers are important, bro. This is
yeah, it
why.
is.
Because
Yeah, it
you
is.
notice most of the problems in our community stem from single mothers. It's males with a female mindset or reaction to things that then deal with, young women who have no guidance all either.
Yeah.
It's just back and forth. Every issue we cover, every topic, it stems back to that. It yeah. So
Yeah, but okay, so then what about where did she get it from? Because it had to come from not having the father in the house.
where did who get what from exactly though?
The mother, these
Getting
the
what?
way that these kids are, you said the mother grew up not knowing how to deal with her emotions, basically. So was that because of her mother or lack of having a father around?
I think that's just kind of women by default struggle with controlling emotion. Anyway, I don't care what level she is or her mom being around or whatever. Women have a problem with containing emotion. So that's the gist of it. It's when they don't get it from anywhere. It's biological. It's in their nature. Just like for
Mm,
us, it's in our nature to be more logical and be less on the emotion, more on the plan and this what we supposed to be doing. What's the mission? What's the goal? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I've had this issue in relationships a lot to where, when we face with an issue, we starting to get into a debate back and forth or argument. I want to know what the end goal is. What the point? What's the point? How do we get to the end of this? She wants to go through the ups and downs and the emotions and
To
feel
get to
everything.
the end.
She don't even give a fuck about the end. She wants to feel
No,
all of it.
she
That's
wants
my
you to
point.
feel her journey along the way to the end.
That's what I'm
But see
saying.
this,
That
and if a lot of women just realize men are really simple. You know what
they
I'm
don't
saying? A lot of
care
stuff.
about that, bro. They don't care. I've been saying it. They really don't care. They really don't.
Can't say they don't care.
All right.
The way society has conditioned everybody to be. But when you talk to a lot of them, see, I talk to a lot of them, and it's a lot of women that actually want that. They just don't feel like they're getting it from the type of men that's out there today.
then at that point, if you are going out into the world and you keep finding the wrong people, you are the wrong person.
You got you. I mean, at some point you got to point the finger at yourself too. But
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's really that
well,
simple. It's really that simple.
okay. So look. Check this out. The percentage of black men getting married has decreased significantly over time. It say in
Mm.
1970, 35.6% of black men were never married. But by 2020, that percentage has jumped to 51.4%. That is crazy. We just run around here making single family households.
For man, it's been for a long time now, bro. A long time. At this point, I think the narrative is starting to shift now. So I'm seeing more people really deciding, younger people, like in a, you get a lot of them who with the street wild shit, those who tend to be the loudest. But I do also see a lot of young people who like that shit ain't working. We got to figure this out, you know what I'm saying, together. So I'm starting to see that change a little bit with the younger people. But as far as the older crowd, our age and older or around our age, man, this gender war done took a toll on us, bro. All these, yeah,
Right. So all of that was a plan to get the family. The black family was the cornerstone of the black community. Once they
right.
destroyed the black family, that everything fell apart for the community. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That was our everything. And
Yeah.
during the 90s, it took a real big toll on the community because the fathers was taking out the house, the discipline was taken out the house, the mothers was
Yeah.
forced to go to work. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So everything changed. And now it's gotten to a point to where marriage ain't even really glorified. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Like they used to have we grew up on music talking about let's get married and meet
Right.
me at the altar. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Hmm.
was instilled in our music, so we still saw it as that. But nowadays, all the music is about sex, so they don't really
Right. Right.
glorify
Yeah.
relationships and shit like we did.
Yeah. I said this before, man. I think we just in a time period right now where men and women are, especially black men and women, with women kind of being higher on the totem pole in America. um I think we're reaching a point where as human beings, not even a black thing necessarily, but we're reaching a point where we're trying to figure out what we need each other for long term, with the balance of what we need and what we want. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like we needed each other back in the day because there were certain things you couldn't go out and just buy. Like everything
Right.
that we needed each other for is a service that you can go pay for now. So as far as, you know what I'm saying, what each other needs, like women needed us for a lot of things because they wouldn't or couldn't do it on their own. Now they can just pay somebody for it. That's why I'm saying like the whole I don't need you, I just want you thing. Like think of something that you don't need and you only want. How important is that to you? It's probably not. When things get bad, when things get real, what's the first thing to go? Things that you want, not things that you need. So that's where I think we are right now. Women are at a point where they like, what do I need a man for at all if he's not making me happy? But making a woman happy just in the general sense is damn near impossible because there's
Well,
always
see,
going to be something.
I think that's where we go wrong in the relationships because we expect somebody else to make us happy, and that's where women really go wrong because they expect to be happy from the man when you're supposed to make yourself happy and bring that
Right,
happiness together for the
right,
relationship.
right.
But
Man,
yeah, I
they
get what you're
they they
saying, man.
fall
It's
they fall in love with the pageantry. This is why women always
yeah,
push for the relationship and men don't. Like we don't want to do the relationship thing because all the burden of responsibility falls on
falls
us.
on
We gotta
us.
we gotta do everything, and the only thing we can hope for is a back rub, some food, and maybe some sex way later on down the line, maybe. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I
Like,
mean, What benefit is that? Because you getting sex just like I'm getting it. So
Man, like that's something that I've always been confused about, how we position it and how men allow themselves to be positioned where sex is a benefit to men and not women. Like women
right,
don't, it's like I never understood that. Like, but I think again it's because men act so desperate for it that the women who, you know what I'm saying, you get 15,
yeah,
20 people a day that's asking to pay you just to have
to
sex with
pay
them.
you just the toes and shit.
You know
You
what I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
You
When you
going
got them type of dudes, it make it. I mean, how can when
what
all
I'm
they
supposed
got
to
to do is
do?
create an
I'm not
OnlyFans
doing none
and
of that shit. Yeah, because I'm not doing
hell
none of that
no,
shit.
I ain't paying for
So
shit. What? Pay for a
that's what I'm
date?
saying. So for a woman who, for women, because most women deal with that also, like the same thing of them being kind of assaulted all the time, they get it's a pro and con to that. They get the benefit of men that will do anything to for just for some time and attention. You know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
what I'm
So
saying, and that's what became the problem.
yeah,
The men that would do anything, that would spend anything. And so they figured out that it's a bunch of them out there. They
it's a
gave them
bunch
that
of
mindset that, oh well shit, I ain't got to deal with your shit, but I can just go over here and
right.
get the attention that I want, even though it's temporary or you know what I'm saying, not real.
Right. And then that's where you get, because the women don't need the men, they go for who they want instead of who they
They
need.
think they
Who
don't need the men.
well, yeah, you know how that go though. I don't you'll be we can debate that whole topic as far as, that position that they stand on. But either way, but my point is they end up dealing with men that they like. And women don't choose men with good character. They choose what they feel in this moment. Somebody that can make them feel some excitement. Those men typically can make a lot of women feel that type of excitement.
Yeah.
So then you deal with this deadbeat type of man and you have a baby with this deadbeat type of man, but you don't need this deadbeat type of man. So now you a single parent with a deadbeat baby daddy, and now your child is almost guaranteed to fail. That's what I mean. Like, yeah.
And
we don't
that's
we don't
that
have a reason to need each other no more. Like
that's
we
something
do,
that they don't
but
understand too. You know, a lot of
yeah.
women. This what tripped me out because I had a homegirl that I had. We kind of got into it about this because she tried to come at me with using her baby daddy like he's a deadbeat dad, but yet you withhold the child from him. And that's another thing that I can't
See,
stand is a woman that
yeah,
uses the kids as a weapon.
right,
We
right,
have that a lot, but they don't get held accountable for it because you have so
right.
many like-minded women that jump online with them and be like, "Yeah, that nigga ain't shit, and he ain't this." The whole time it's her ass the reason why he ain't seen his kids.
Yep. The court of public opinion be a motherfucker, bro. And then a fundamental
Men lose every
difference.
time.
Yeah, and a fundamental difference is like men and women don't like it because men will go out and like what we're doing now. We'll speak to what we don't like and what we feel is wrong. But
We
women
don't
tend
get
to more
heard.
so women tend to more so kind of come with the idea of, long as it's not me, every man for themselves. You, if that's what you want to do, you go do that. But that's not, I don't think that's how things should go. And I think that's why the black community is fucked up now, because everybody just doing what they want to do. And there's no
Yeah,
structure, no guidelines to what we're
yeah.
supposed to be doing.
Because we've lost the main structure that we had, and that was the family structure.
The
That's what
family.
kept everybody in line
Yeah.
because it was a head. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their own roles. Even the kids had roles. Here, once you got old
Right.
enough, you started doing chores and shit around the house.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Shoot
Everybody
chairs.
had a role. Now, nobody has a defined role, and I believe that's what's become a problem.
Everybody doing what they want to do, what make them happy. I think that's
What make
bullshit.
them happy instead of
Right.
the relationship, and
I
that's
have a question. I want to
mhm.
pose a question, and this is completely off topic. Well, not completely, but what role do women play in the community? What requirements do women have? What jobs? What defined roles do women have? What responsibilities do they have in the black community? What is it? Has it ever been fully defined to where this is what you're supposed to do? back in the day, I heard a lot of women upset that you can't tell me to just go in the kitchen and cook and clean and not, you know what I'm saying? That was a big thing to not to, for them, they don't want to just do that.
Well,
Okay,
I don't think that's a role. You know what I'm saying? I think what we've gotten wrong today is the definition of what roles really are. And I
okay,
think roles are what, like, for women, nurturing. You're supposed to be the nurture. The men, you're supposed to be the provider, the protector, the leader. Women, the nurturer, the you know what I'm saying, the teacher. They stopped teaching. We supposed to plant the seeds, they supposed to grow the seeds. That's how it works. But
okay.
yeah, ain't none of these motherfuckers got a green thumb today.
Facts, yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that we've gotten away from that. We stopped leading the way we were expected to lead, and they stopped following the way they was expected to follow. And that's
coming
what I'm saying.
coming
Everybody
from
started doing their own.
slavery, coming from slavery, how were we expected to lead?
We were
What
still
was the
leading.
what was the expectation? I understand, but what was the expectation? What was the standard?
Well, you gotta think back then they had different expectations for the household because they knew they were coming from nothing. So everybody, that's why I say everybody had a role. That's where they came from. That's why they had so many kids, because then the kids would grow up and be able to help. And
Get your
you know what I'm
ass
saying?
out there on that
Participate.
farm.
Hell yeah. When we was
Yeah,
young, I was out there on the tractor with my grandpa. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, yeah, like out there in the garden with my granny.
yeah.
They didn't do that once that
Right.
generation left.
Yeah,
And I
you're
think
right.
that's another thing that we've gotten away from. Because let's say everything go down right now. What the fuck is the black community gonna do to survive?
We are fucked. It's such a sad thing too, bro. Like the more I really think about it, like right now, if shit really go down right now, bro, we as a group of people, like man, we out of there. If everybody linked up with a group of people, like if
Bro,
you if some kicked off and all the Asian people was over there and all the Middle
the
Eastern people
white
was over
people
there, all the
over
way,
here and the
and the
Hispanics over
black
there,
people over here, man,
we
we
fuck.
are fucked in
We
the
can't
game,
grow
bro.
nothing. Not all of us. Some of us
We would
can.
we would be arguing and fighting. We wouldn't even get to the growing
Everybody,
part.
yeah, because it wouldn't be no direct leadership, no direction, no guide.
No
Uh,
structure, no leadership. Exactly, right
yeah,
there.
it'd be
And
too
our
much
yeah,
chaos.
it wouldn't
That's
go
why we
good
not
at
ready.
all.
We gotta really
So I'm
change our mindset, because we don't, and that's another thing that we're not paying attention to, is this shift that's coming. It's a big shift that's happening right in front of our faces, and we don't even see it going down. I think you done froze up.
up on me. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I've thought about it a lot, bro. I've thought about it a lot.
it's a
Um,
lot, man. And that's why I try to keep my kids prepared. I know at first they probably used to think I was talking some crazy stuff. Now they're starting to see a lot of this stuff is
yeah,
unfolding.
yeah.
You know,
Ch- children are to be grown. Man, we got that. Children
it's
don't
a,
have
it's
a
a
thought of their own, bro. We got to train these children up.
no,
We
and
can't.
that's another thing that became a problem. We started giving kids too many decisions to make, too many choices, and they
Women
wasn't
leading the
developed.
household, letting them do whatever they want to do. You know how many
Exactly.
times I've gone over, like just through my years of dating and stuff like that, how many times I've dealt with a single mother who child was up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh, they
on the
don't got
game.
school. Yeah, on the game, on the phone. Oh, they ain't got school tomorrow. So the fuck what? You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah,
boy is 3 years old. Why is he up right now asking for a cereal?
3 years
Man, this
out.
people is crazy. But
Yeah,
you can't you
yeah.
can't tell you can't tell none of them how to raise a child.
No, and that's what another thing that's become the problem, because growing up, shit, that's what they did, was offered each
Exactly.
other advice, and shit, they would tell on our ass. We get in trouble twice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You gonna get in trouble by the
Yeah.
person that caught you doing what you doing, and then
Yeah.
when they tell your parents, you finna get your ass in trouble again. But they
Again.
kept,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why our generation was a lot different. We wasn't running out
Yeah.
and doing a lot of the stuff they
How
got
do we
going on.
get how do we get back to that as a black community where if your child is out in public acting crazy, another black person can tell them they wrong? How do we get back to that? Matter of fact, we need to get some women in here and speak to, because that's really kind of what it kind of boils down to a lot of the time, with so
Yeah,
many
we're
women
gonna start
leading.
having some yes.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
need
We got
some
to have
women's
some real
opinions.
conversation.
We need some
Yeah.
women's opinions on some of these topics.
Because we've already got a lot of this shit established. We didn't said it back and forth, and we didn't pissed each other off back and forth, calling each other out on it. How do we
That
now
ain't
move
getting it no more.
forward? Right? How do we move
Mhm.
forward? How do we get to a point where, ma'am, your child is throwing a fit in this grocery store aisle? Me as a black man walking down the aisle, you look to me for help, and I come, hey, little dude, get up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, you
it
don't know
used
me
to
from
be
a
like
can of
that.
paint. Exactly. I didn't got tuned up by a couple old people when I was little. I don't know these
Yeah,
people, but I was acting up, and they knew my
and
XYZ, and
then your
yeah,
parent turn around and white and get on your ass for showing out in front of people.
embarrassing them. Yeah,
It was different back
man.
then. Nowadays, shit, you know that, and but it all boils down to changing our mindset. We
Yeah.
have to change the way we think. We have to get out of that mentality. It's a struggle mentality, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Men
Because
gotta
for some reason, we've all wanted to relate to the struggle for so long. It's time to get out of that thought process. Also,
men
start
gotta
relating to
lead.
success.
Men just gotta get back in the position to where
It's on us.
sound judgment leads our household versus
It's
emotion.
on us, bro. I say that's why I it always boils back down, in my opinion, to the man. Because we stopped leading the way we were supposed to. If the men started and get back to doing what they were supposed to do, we're gonna see a lot of shit change.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these these kids, they just looking for guidance, but it just depends on how you approach them and your, you know what I'm saying, how you come with
Yeah.
that. They
Yeah.
ready to listen. They just don't
Yeah.
want to hear no bullshit. And a lot
Right.
of times the
It'd be
older cats
bullshit.
come, yeah.
Or just don't even know they damn self. That's really what it be.
Hell,
You
they
don't
didn't get
know
taught.
you don't know nothing what you talking about, nothing what you doing, but you trying to go instruct somebody else on what they should be doing. Young people don't want to listen to that no more.
It was our generation when they started taking the fathers out the house, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
And maybe a generation before that,
I think
I
it
ain't
one
really sure.
generation before us,
It
one
might have been
generation
our
before us.
parents' generation that
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
started. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But it
That's where it
really took
started.
effect with our generation.
Yeah, because that's when the crack and everything else was introduced at the same time. So not
And they
only were
changed the
fathers
music
not Yeah, not only were fathers not in the house day to day, they was either selling drugs going to jail or on drugs going to jail.
on jugs. Yeah, it
And
was one
that's
of the
where it
two.
really went bad. That's where I think more than any other time period, that's the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s, is where women really lost all type
Yes.
of all type of faith, I
Respect
think.
for
Respect and
yeah,
faith.
confidence in the men because
Yeah.
hell, we
Yep.
started going to jail and started wanting the easy way out, and everybody thought
Exactly.
drugs was a
Exactly.
quick dollar, and it was a trap.
And then before then, we was pimping on them. The
Yeah, it was
70s.
pimping.
The pimp game was
Yeah,
real heavy back then. So the
pimp game was strong
disrespect,
back then. Yeah,
real strong. So the disrespect of the woman started, and then it got even worse when we were in a position where we can't even take care of it. So
once
yeah.
they figured out they had to start doing it for themselves, everything changed
Well,
because they didn't
they
have a
wanted
choice
to.
though.
They got
They didn't
tricked
have.
into wanting it though. That's
And
kind of
some,
where it
yeah,
gets
but
slippery.
some of them didn't have a choice. They was forced into that position. You know what I'm saying? Because the man went to jail and then he got 10 years or some shit. And shit,
Right.
what the
Right.
mama gonna do at that point? She gotta
Right.
do what she gotta
You're
do.
right.
A
It's a
lot of
lot
that
of
happened.
both. It's a
It's a
lot of
lot
both.
that it was on both sides because they didn't have to accept the section 8 and food stamps and all that shit.
Exactly.
But
They
they
didn't
took
have
it.
to accept that. Like if you telling me as a man, right, that
What's up, Nick?
I gotta get rid of
Big
my
fat sometimes.
wife. I gotta get rid of
That's
my wife in order to get food stamps. We
right.
gonna be hungry and we gonna figure it the fuck out. My wife not going no damn where. But that's
Well,
not what happened back in the day. And I've seen like old interviews even because it like the whole government assistance thing was a big deal back then. Like they would go around and
was.
record interviews of people, interviewing these people, about, their thoughts, views, and opinions on Section 8 or whatever. Some men was kind of trying to be strategic with it and saying, okay, I'm gonna go over here and work and do whatever, and you stay here with the kids with the cheap rent, and I'll just throw you money over here and we can keep this thing going. Some other
They
women was
thought
kind of
that
got
was the best way to do it. We
right.
thought we was cheating the system when the whole time that's what the system was wanting.
Yep. That they had a bigger picture that we couldn't see.
Nah.
They had a bigger
And
picture.
see, that's the difference today is we see that bigger picture.
Yeah,
The
we
the
get it now.
the difference in the black people today is a lot of them now are woke, as they say, to the bigger
Right.
picture. And
Right.
so they have to go about things a different way.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you on that, bro. Uh-oh.
Let's see. So now for our next segment, this was one of the ones that they like. It's starting to become a fan favorite. I'm starting to like it too. It's the pass the aux.
Oh yeah,
We've
yeah.
been
That's
doing
always a
one
fun
where it's
one.
artists versus artists. We're gonna start switching it up. We're gonna find some different ways to do this segment. But for right now,
Okay.
I kind of like doing it this way because it's still at the same time it brings light on our music from back in the day
Right.
that we grew up on.
Right. Some
But
classics. The other day, bro, we had some classics with Jodeci and Boys to Men, bro.
yeah,
That
that
was
was a good one.
crazy.
That
Yeah.
was a good one. This one gonna be a little tough too. We got Jeezy versus Gucci. Top five.
Okay.
It,
Top
it's
five.
it's it, back when we was coming up, both of them kind of was at the height. You know what I'm saying? But one was more
Yeah.
mainstream, one was more underground. But Jeezy, for what he was underground, was kind of similar to what Gucci was underground was kind of similar to what Jeezy was underground. Marissa say this is her favorite segment.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we're gonna start with the first one. We
Okay,
got and
okay.
then what from Jeezy. You remember that?
And
Boom,
then
boom, clap.
what?
Boom,
First,
boom,
yeah,
clap. And
yeah,
then we
that shit was
got
tough.
bricks from Gucci. All
Off
white
white
bricks.
bricks.
All white
Yeah,
bricks.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hey, yeah. You came out the gate with something difficult. Hold on, bro.
I had
God
to, you know what
damn.
I'm saying? I had to hit it hard off top. That's how we doing
And
it. We coming
I
with it.
don't even fuck with Gucci Mane like that.
We say Jesus.
It's two different
Ooh.
types of trap hood mentality.
It is.
One is more of the, I don't want to be too disrespectful, but more of the just kind of, we know, kind of more the dodo brain type of simple. We know these dudes. We know these dudes is wild, don't have good sense, don't think about nothing, don't consider nothing, don't strategize shit, don't plan shit, just reckless, wild. That's a Gucci Mane type nigga. I would just, I would just keep it 1,000 with you. Jeezy's more on the, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta have some sense to really understand what Jeezy talking about, some degree. So not saying that Gucci ain't got some good music. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a fundamental difference with that mindset. So I'm gonna go with Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? All bricks was the shit. Don't get me wrong, but I gotta rock with Jeezy.
And then what? Bricks.
Cause
I don't
that
know.
cause
I
that time
mean,
period too, bro, like 03, 04, 05, man, I was high school, junior, you know what I'm saying? Like I was, doing my little thing, 1, 2 on the side, thinking I was something. Man, I wanted to be the next Jeezy. You hear me? Come on, bro.
look,
I didn't give
that
no fuck about Gucci.
I had just moved to Texas around that time, '03. And
Okay.
that was at the height of when we had crunk music going.
Yeah,
Say the
yeah.
clubs was different back then. It was totally different
It was a
during that
whole
era.
nother level. Yeah,
From
yeah.
like '03 to about '08, because it started changing once Lil Wayne started coming with the Carters. They started dancing more and all that shit. But
Right,
before the
right.
dancing trend started,
It
that
was a
trap,
crunk. Yeah, it
it
was a
was that
crunk move.
trap crunk music era. That's
Yeah.
the best era of music, if you ask me. I don't care. That's even better than the '90s. Even before Tupac and I mean,
Whoa!
after
Hold the
Tupac and
fuck!
Biggie. Yeah, I just said some. That
Hold the
era that
fuck on,
you had
bro.
Nelly, you had
Nah.
Ti, you had Jeezy, you had Gucci, you had Luda. You had, man, say what era is better than that era? What who Pop, Biggie? I mean, hold on. You got Pop, you got Biggie, you got Jay-Z. I guess we could throw DMX in there with them. You got Scarface, you got Snoop,
Yeah. You gotta think of the
Bone
other.
Thugs and Harmony. You
You gotta
got
think of
Bone,
those the
Bone,
twisters, the do or dies. You know what I'm saying?
Twister, Do
The
or Die. You got them. You got a lot of New
mm,
York cats. You know what I'm
a lot
saying?
of New York dudes. The West
I
Coast was
mean,
still
but
big. I'm a big West Coast artist. Snoop was still big
no
back then.
limit, cat.
The
No
No
limit.
Limits,
Shit, no
uh,
limit.
the
Yeah, that was.
Be Legit and E40 and the Click and them back then. Come on, man. I don't,
They was alright. They was alright. They was
I
alright.
don't- But I will say maybe
Oh,
that now that I'm really I was originally offended because I really feel like I was really more part of the '90s era, especially growing up. But man, when you hit them early 2000s, when you get the Lil Johns and the whole
the
wave from
shit.
Texas, like the Slim Thugs and the
The
Power
Slim Thug,
Walls,
the man, Chameleonaire, Flip.
yeah,
We
yeah,
had man. What era is better than that era?
that's tough, bro. That is tough.
You
When you
had Nelly with Hot in Here. You had, I mean, 50. We don't
50
even
was
in the
just coming
club.
out, yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
man. Lil Wayne with
the
Hot
50
Boys.
the 50 and Ja Rule thing was still a big thing.
That
Ja
was a
Rule was
big
still
thing.
big. Ja Rule gets
Ja Rule and
disrespected.
Ashanti then was doing their thing for a minute.
Man, Ja Rule and
We
Ashanti might be one of the best duos in our generation.
name an era that was better than our era, the
I got
millennial era.
I gotta get the little scrappies and all them,
Little
man.
scrap. I mean, we had
Waka
everything.
Flockas, all them. Yeah,
We but then we also had the ushers and the, you know what I'm saying?
we had the R&B tip too, still going. Yeah, we that might be the pinnacle of black music, early
That
2000s.
might that it's gonna
Yeah.
be some people that might have something to say about that, but I challenge them to
Yeah,
say which
yeah.
era was better than that era
I'll
right
say
there.
this. I'll say for R&B, the '90s was the pinnacle
Oh,
for R&B, and then
oh,
the early 2000s was the
yeah,
pinnacle for rap. I'll
yeah,
say that
I say that. Yeah, because yeah, R and
because
B was
because
different in the
that's where you're gonna
'90s.
get the pushback. That's the only place you're gonna get the pushback. I think is the R&B
They,
part.
I give them the R&B because that's
Yeah,
when they still had love in the music. That's
right.
why.
Love was real
And
heavy
it
in the
was in the
'90s.
2000s we was starting to shift towards more sex based
Yeah,
R&B.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
really, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
I give you that. I give
I
you
give
that.
them that. But other than that,
Yeah. What's the next song, man? Let's see what we
you
got.
got My President. My President is
It's black.
black.
Yeah,
Lambo's blue.
yeah, yeah.
Or you got Photo Shoot. Ooh,
I
I'm gonna
don't
have to
even
go with Photo Shoot.
I don't even know what that is from Gucci. I ain't even gonna lie.
You ain't never
I
heard
ain't
that one? I
I
wish I
ain't
could
gonna
play
lie.
it. I don't want to get struck.
Yeah, yeah.
Get our shit copyright strike. Get a
Yeah,
copyright
I
strike.
see.
She say '90s was
90s
lit.
was lit, yeah.
Which one though? R&B or the rap?
Right, right.
Rap was. I mean, you had Mystical. You had P them doing their thing, but
hmm hmm
I mean,
The Hot Boys and No Limit was big.
they didn't really take off though until the end. She say both.
Both. Mm.
Rap. Yeah, I can see that.
I
It depends on preference.
I think rap was picking up as the '90s progressed.
Mm-hmm.
It was just because you got to think rap was still so new. Rap didn't even come out until the '80s, the late '80s at that. So by the '90s and all that, like they was still kind of progressing in a formulas on what this genre was. Like I hate that it took such a drastic pivot away from speaking knowledge and wisdom and more unity when it
Yeah,
started. It
yeah.
made that
It was
shift into
political, everything.
yeah, it made that shift into more the gangster culture later on, but it was still so new. So in the '90s, yeah,
But
it was
what
dope, but it was really pocketed with what you like. It was less
Yeah.
commercial. Everybody,
Yeah.
it was very specific.
Everybody still did their own. Everybody had a different style,
A
and that's what I
completely
kind of
different
liked
style.
about
Yeah.
our era too. Like the '90s and our era, really, everybody had their own style because it was
Yeah.
still competition.
Right.
Now everybody kind of rap the same, and it's the same tempo or the same
It's
cadence.
it's Lil Wayne fault, bro. I'm blaming Lil Wayne. Yep, I'm doing it. Lil Wayne did he when he came with the skinny jeans and
Yeah,
rapping
that
with
skater shit.
and he kind
Yeah,
of came with the rapping with only punchlines, and a lot of people was able to do that, just only punchlines. It was no more storytelling, it was no
storytelling.
more
Right.
nothing. It was just punchlines, just directly to a punchline, 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 punchline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's one of the a punchline like uh I'm a G's moving silent like lasagna. Like just constantly just punchlines over the art of crafting a song ended, and everybody just wanted to be quick and catchy. So
Yeah.
it started with Wayne, bro. It really started with that. The Carter 2
Yeah.
is when I think it really, really completely shifted. Carter 2 is when it really started. Yeah. Yeah. Completely shifted how he rapped. Yeah. Wasted is tough, bro. I gotta go
I
with
gotta
Gucci
go with
on that
wasted
one.
on that one. I gotta go
Wasted was
wasted. Go
tough.
hard. That's with
I still
Plies, I
got that
think,
in my
right?
playlist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got I
I
still
gotta
got
go with wasted
I
on
still
that one.
got that in my
Lose my
playlist to
mind
this
though.
day.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. It still hit.
Yeah, yeah. That
But
whole man, when Jeezy and Gucci first came out, them first couple projects, there was no wrong, nothing really. Honestly, it was
nah,
nothing. So, but it's just about preference. So I got to go with that Wasted on that one. Wasted was tough. Wasted
yeah,
was
I agree with
hard,
that one.
bro. That Wasted was
We
hard.
got number 4 for Jeezy. We got Soul Survivor or
Hey,
Lemonade for Gucci. Lemonade went. Whew.
Lemonade was
Lemonade
huge.
went. Lemonade was so big for Gucci. It like if you didn't know Gucci, you knew him after that
That
song.
was his first mainstream, I think, song for real, for real. Like where
Yeah,
everybody knew Gucci.
but
Um,
Soul Survivor.
that was man,
Ah,
that was a. I think that was Jeezy first big one. No, I take that back. They first one was together. It was a song called
that's next.
Okay,
That-
okay, that was their first big one together. But then they had another one. They had on their own, on their first independent projects. Those two was their biggest songs, their first biggest songs. Soul Survivor and Lemonade. So I'm gonna still go with Soul Survivor just because I fuck with that song so heavy.
That
Like
beat, that Akon on it, the way he.
Akon's part in it, yeah, yeah. Lemonade
Yeah,
wasn't all that to me
she
personally.
said
It
that's
was
hard. It's a tie. Yeah, that's a
what
woo.
was a
Soul
tie?
Survivor.
Hold on.
Which
What
one?
was a tie? Yeah, you gotta let
She
us know
might be
which
talking
one you
about
think was a
lose my
tie.
mind.
Yeah, I think maybe I hope she's talking about that one.
Soul
I
Survivor
hope she's
and
talking about that.
Lemonade though. I don't know. That's close because
Not for me.
I'ma still. I mean I'ma still say Soul Survivor just because I like the whole beat and I'm more of a bounce beat
Yeah,
type person, but
yeah, yeah.
I like
And that
that one
mug
better.
slap, bro. When you got some speakers in the
Yeah,
trunk, man, that's so Survivor thump, bro.
Soul
I
Survivor is
can't.
hard.
Yeah,
Man, that brings back memories.
for real.
Came out.
Who's that?
Oh,
AI fun context. Who was that? Is that a real person?
I don't know. What's
What's your
your
opinion
honest
on Israel?
opinion on Israel? I don't really have an opinion on that.
I,
I ain't really looked into it too much.
I think
To
Israel
have a
wrong. If we gonna take a quick little sidebar for this AI bot, I think I think Israel kind of wrong for what they did, for what they doing. I think Hamas is they wrong for the action that they took that kind of kicked all this off, but they had a reason. I think I
I
thought
can see that.
it's kind of the same thing with what's the guy's name? Rodney Hinton. It's kind of the same thing. Like what he did was not okay, but you got to understand why he did it. The
Hmm.
overall point, and that's what I think it was. Israel being the police to, the black man in America. Israel has been that to Hamas for a long time. Can you imagine allowing a people to come live on your land because they got did bad, and then they turn around and do you bad? Because let's get it clear, the is the Jewish people were forced after what was that, the Holocaust. They, the people of uh was of Israel offered that land for them as a safe haven, but then they pushed them further and further off of their original land into these situations, and it's like, man, it's crazy, bro. But I don't
My
I
whole
don't know.
opinion on Israel is totally different because I know what it was when it was created and what it was created for. So I don't really fuck with Israel. Just to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't really.
Okay, 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 all right. I put on, yeah.
So Icy is tricky because it features Gucci. I mean,
It's
features
both of
Jeezy.
them. Yeah, it's both
But
of them
it's Gucci's
songs.
song, and Jeezy just got a verse on there. Now, would the song, he said he's actually Palestinian, would the song still be a hit without Jeezy on it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's
I
why
I
I
don't
put it
think
on there.
I don't think if you put Gucci on there with anybody else who's a decent rapper, because of the beat and the hook and the catchy hook, I think it, no matter what that song would have been, the hook is what made the song popular.
It's what made the song. He could have put
Yeah,
anybody on there that just
right,
did a
right,
decent verse.
right.
But that verse is put on. I put on for my city.
Yeah,
On,
I gotta go
on.
with I gotta go
I gotta go
with
with
that
So
what'd you
Icy.
say? So Icy. Yeah, yeah, so Icy. I gotta go with So Icy. That was just the introduction of both of them.
Yeah, but
So
it's that hook and what it did for
yeah,
both of their careers. Because after that, Jeezy came with "Boys in the Hood"
right.
with
Yeah,
Diddy
yep.
and all this.
Hmm.
Jeezy was with Diddy there for a minute. Speaking of Diddy,
He was. But see, I heard an interview about that to where he was never planning to be a part of that group. He had
no, he wasn't
already.
actually part of the group.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think. I think he just featured with them on the album,
yeah.
but I don't think he
I
was
think he
actually
wanted to
ever.
be a I think he wanted to be like a Bad Boy had that Bad Boy South division of whatever. And I think he was
Yeah,
gonna be, part of that a little bit.
yeah. They tried that
Yeah.
with who was that? 8 Ball and MJG.
Right,
Oh, we
right,
actually
right.
forgot about them. They was jumping back in the
They was
90s
definitely jumping. I still listen to a lot of their
with
music right now.
UGK.
Yeah. UGK
Usually.
was
Yeah.
back in, man, yeah. Yeah.
All right. For our next segment, this might be the last one, unless you got something else you want to talk about. It's the classic or just average.
Oh
Where we
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about the movies and decide on whether they would be classic today, like they were back then, or would they just be considered just average?
Right. Okay.
Let's start off. We got Waiting to Exhale. Now,
That would be huge, right?
I was
With
just
the
do
women
you
movement.
realize how big it was? It was pretty big back then.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty
I
big.
believe if that came out today, in today's time, with the mentality that women have,
Boy, that'll be the
oh my
number one
god,
movie the next for the rest of the year. But it'll
definitely
definitely be a
classic.
classic. Yeah.
It would
What?
definitely be a classic
It'll be
today
way more of a classic today than it will be back
than it
then.
was then. I
Yeah.
agree. It
Yeah.
would be
I,
bigger
I
today
agree.
than man.
You
If
can
they
even
did
argue, that is what started said movement. That and some of the other movies, The Color Purples and stuff like
I
that,
see that.
like it started this movement of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Like that
yeah,
that Me Too type of movement is what you're
yeah,
saying.
that
Yeah.
we gonna take ours, no hold barred. Like women sick of this shit. We about to
When they
fuck
say
you niggas over. when she but that It's that
Yeah.
one. It's that one where she is throwing her hands up and the car's on fire and she walking off saying
Walking out with
"fuck
the
it."
cigarette.
That's hey, look. Hear
They
me
did
out.
it.
Hear me out. Hear me
They
out.
did it.
Should that have been the statue that they put up?
You talking about in New York? Listen,
Yeah,
my man.
that's the statue
Look,
that they should have
you
put up in New
know,
York.
I
Just fed the fuck up
they
with
do
all
shit on
of it.
purpose, bro. They do shit on purpose
Yeah,
because why would
yeah.
you? Why that type of
Why
statue?
that statue? That's it looks so dusty and like what is that?
It ain't even that. It's why couldn't you put something that was inspirational instead of, you know what I'm saying? Something that little girls would want to look up to and aspire to be in. They not they gonna walk past that statue like it ain't shit. Cause
That shit
hell,
is it's low key and what is it? I
it's
don't understand
embarrassing.
it.
And I mean, if
Yeah,
you really
I
you really want to say it, cause like why are they displaying it? What is the purpose?
what
Who is
is
that
it?
benefit?
That's what I'm saying. Like what is that? Like what does that represent? I would like to speak with the artist and to say to ask like what does this represent for you? What was your goal in doing this?
Well, that's just like the Martin Luther King thing with the hands or the hug. That did you see that shit? The
Uh-uh.
statue. Oh my god. She said she lost. What is it in Central Park in
Is
New
I don't
York
know where it's in New
or
York
Times
somewhere. I don't know
Square? It's
exactly where
Times
it is.
Square.
Times Square,
Times
yeah, Times
Square
Square, Times
in New
Square.
York.
It's a
Just look
big
that statue.
bronze statue, yeah,
Yeah, it's I don't know
of
why
a
they
it's
did it.
just a regular ass. Like it's not. I just don't
She
get
ain't
it.
doing it. It's like I could see if she was doing something or I
Anything,
don't know.
yeah,
The
like
only
on some
thing I could
Statue of
see
Liberty
is
type shit. You know what I'm saying?
they
Like
did that so
go
black
ahead.
women can further be talked about or
I don't know, like because
discriminated
the
against.
Statue of Liberty was a gift that was supposed to represent, black
The
maybe
ending of
black
slavery.
women or the end of slavery and stuff like that. So maybe if it was something significant or signifying something,
Symbol, yeah, like some kind of symbolic
yeah,
gesture or something, but
right. But she just standing there in the middle, just regular, like I
looking like
what
just a I don't even want to say.
just yeah, I
Look
don't, you
like
don't
a
even want.
ghetto ratchet ass chick that's standing in the middle of the street. Look like she would be barefoot or some shit, or with some
I,
house shoes on. I don't know what
man,
they was thinking. I don't
yeah, I
know
don't
what it's
know.
supposed to be. What
I'm
is
I'm
the?
curious
I
about it
would
though.
love to know what was the
I'm curious.
artistic vision behind it.
Right, I'm curious. I'm for sure curious.
Uh, the next one we got Juice with Pac and who's that? Omar Epps.
Omar Epps is in it. What's the light
Uh,
skinned dude name? I forget. Dang,
uh, he
good actor
played.
though.
Yeah, he
He
was
played
in.
in Girlfriends and all type
Yeah,
of shit.
he was in quite a few movies.
Yeah, movies and shows.
But if Juice came out
Juice.
today, would it be a classic
I
like it
think for the
was then?
same. I think for this one kind of sort of the same reason because it's so relevant now. Like think of who was that little dude? Triple X Tentacion or whoever that got killed by his little homie, or what's the
By
other little
Drake,
dude? What's the
allegedly.
other? Right. And who's the other little dude who YMW Melly who killed his little partner and drove around in the car with him for a while? Like
Yeah.
being like your friends turning on you, it seems to be a big thing now. So I think it'll be even bigger now
Because
because
they
it's
didn't
so
grow up with
relevant.
loyalty and respect. They never taught. They
Right.
was never taught it, so they don't know how to
Yeah, it
show
was
it.
all about money. It's all about
Yeah,
money. However you can get some money. So
yeah.
I think because of its relevancy, I think it'll be a classic.
It would have to depend on who it is because you know it ain't gonna be Pac and Omar Epps. So who could they get
Well,
that would be on that same type of level to bring those characters out like that? Like who could play Pac today or Bishop, not just Pac, but who would
right,
be
yeah,
a
who could
good
play
Bishop?
Bishop? Um well, I mean that's really the only person you have to replace though, right? It's Pop. Um Tretch, DMX.
DMX
DMX
ain't there.
gone now.
I'm
He
saying
gone
like you have
now,
to
but
somebody that's for today. She say still
right now,
classic. I say still would be a classic,
yes,
but
still a
it
classic.
depends on who they get to play those two
Yeah,
main actors.
yeah. You gotta think of somebody young too, huh? Think of
Yeah.
somebody young.
Maybe
Who's
oh
a
boy that
young
played in Snowfall. You did you see that show?
Yeah, yeah, I seen
I
some bits and
think
pieces of it.
he might could do Bishop.
Okay, maybe.
I can see him.
But see, I'm still thinking along the lines of a young rapper though, turn
Oh, a
actor
rapper.
with that type of passion. You know what I'm
None of
saying?
these
Like,
rappers turn. These motherfuckers can't act like they could back then. Hell, even Luda can act. Our
Lu-
generation can rap. We was multi
yeah,
talented.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, they can only do one thing at a time now. So if they
You
can,
don't think somebody could pull that off? You don't think a Kendrick could pull that off, maybe, or like think
Kendrick,
of the hmm? Maybe I don't know.
can he act?
I don't know.
Uh,
Shit.
who?
I'm just thinking of somebody who
Oh
could
boy,
who's
that
known
play
for
on
being
Power.
artistic.
What's his name? She say Kendrick
This
for sure. Kendrick might could play Bishop, but I think Michael Rainey, ain't that his name? That
I
played
don't
a
know. I
he
know who you're talking
played
about.
Ghost Son on Power.
Oh, he would piss people off though. I don't know. He might
He would
turn
be. That's
people's.
why he would be good as Bishop,
Now that I just said that out loud, yeah,
cause Bishop
yeah.
pissed us off.
He
The
pissed,
shit he
yeah.
did.
Do he got that type of kind of crazy edge to him though? When Bishop came, he
Nah,
had that.
that's
You
what
know what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying?
He had a certain type of damn near serial killer like edge.
Who's the little NBA boy, NBA young boy?
Ooh, young
Maybe,
boy.
maybe
Young boy could play.
play Bishop.
I
Yeah,
like that.
he a
Young boy
crazy
could
little
play
motherfucker.
Bishop.
Shit, he a
Who?
nut. He a crazy little motherfucker, bro. He should be. He can play that
He could play Bishop. If he can act, you know what I'm saying? He would be a
if he could
good
act.
Bishop.
If he could act,
If
yeah.
he could
If he could
act.
act.
I like that
Shit,
one.
shit. He might not even need to act. Shit,
He just be himself.
just be yourself, bro. You'll fit in perfect.
I like that one. That's a good one. He could he
Yeah,
might could you know what I'm saying? He might could fit, but as far as like say an actor that's out there
yeah. That's
that play those type of roles, I don't really see nobody around
I can't think
these
of
young
nobody
people
off
out there
top of my head. Mm-mm.
that can play
Do we
Bishop.
have any more serious actors anymore? Michael B. Jordan. That's about it.
I mean, but he basically our generation.
That's what I'm saying. Like we don't have no. Well, I take that back. Who's the dude? Well,
I don't, a lot of them now either comedy
yeah,
or they balling or they rapping.
that's about it. That's about it. That's a shame, bro. What is going on? But yeah, that's all I can think of, bro. That's it.
I would say I'm gonna say it'll still be a classic though, just because it has relevant
Right. But just like
situations
you said, just it just depends on who they
who they pick
cast though that really set it off. Which is
that'll set
that's
it
the
off.
case no matter what anyway, basically. So, you
Yeah,
know.
set it off.
Ooh, that's gonna always be a classic. I don't give a damn.
Set it
I
off.
don't give a
Say,
damn. Yeah.
look,
And again, with the LGBTQ, with Queen Latifah's character being, a part of
that'll
that
be
community,
yeah,
that
because
alone
it was
might,
looked at different in the '90s.
yeah, that was what they call that. Um, them old people, they used to do shit like that. What that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like you supposed to keep that
Yeah,
hush hush. Yeah, that ain't supposed to
in the
be out.
closet. They was in the
You know what I'm
closet back
saying?
then.
Yeah, they was heavy in the closet with stuff like that back then. So just to have Queen Latifah as a gay character, having a gay character in a role like that, that was big back then. That was groundbreaking. So I think
Yeah.
that would be classic too. That would be huge. Out
I
man,
just think
what?
even without even just besides that, just the whole
Just the storyline.
storyline.
The
It
storyline was legit, bro.
Yeah,
The
and with
storyline was
women shifting
legit.
now to a lot of these, females is rapping, talking about toting pistols and all that shit. Hell, that
Again,
would fit
another
in today's
another
generation.
another movie that kind of would fit right in with what's going on nowadays. Four women going hard in the paint. Think of Sexy Red, Meg The Stallion,
Glorilla.
Cardi B, and Glow. Bro, that might be a good remake on some real shit. Meg The Stallion could play Queen Latifah
I
character
don't know if they
Cleo.
gonna want Megan right now. Her career ain't the same as it was a couple years ago. She ain't that hot, and especially with this shit going on.
I
Her
think this
last
would
two
be a
albums done flopped.
I think this would be a perfect time to pivot into something different. That's what I mean.
She
You
can't
got to
act
pivot into
though.
something else. You
They
don't
gave
know
her a
that.
chance to act. and she fucked it up on Marvel. So
What she play on Marvel?
she was in She-Hulk and had
Oh, I didn't
She-Hulk
watch that
twerking and shit.
bullshit. Oh, twerking. Oh my god. Yeah,
You
that's
know, that's
exactly
her
why I didn't
whole
watch
thing.
that
So she ain't.
bullshit.
She can't play in that. She not. I don't see her being in a role that could fit. She don't have a personality that would have fit one of them. Cause Jada would probably be Glorilla. You know what I'm saying? Queen
Okay, yep.
Latifah,
That's who we gotta find somebody for.
long as Kiki Palmer get a role.
Oh,
Kiki
Kiki
Palmer
could
could
play
play.
somebody.
She'd play the other
Vivica Fox
girl,
role.
the girl that
Vivica
had the
Fox role.
brother.
Stony. Stony.
Nah,
No. That's Jada Pickett's part. That's what's her name's part?
the one Jada had the brother, right?
Yeah,
The
Jada
other
had the
dark
brother. That
skinned
was
girl. The other. I'm talking about the other
yeah,
dark skinned girl.
Vivica Fox. I don't know her. I don't know.
Not
I can't think of
Vivica,
her
because it
name.
was four of them.
No.
Not Vivica
Yeah.
was not Vivica.
Oh, you. What's
The
her
the
name?
uh
TT.
was it TT?
I think so. She too timid. No, I don't think that would be a good fit.
Who?
She too timid.
Kiki
That
Palmer.
role was too timid.
That's
That
good
role
for
was
Kiki
too.
Palmer because she just revert back to her Keela and the B days.
Damn, you got me on that one, bro. You got me on that one. She got that in her bag, is what you saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she could act that
she
type of
could
role.
she
She
could get
makes
that
she
out. I think Kiki Palmer might be one of the most diverse young actresses we got
right
because
now.
she
Yeah,
can do
yeah,
it all.
she can
She
do
can
it all.
go, yeah, she
And
can go
Vivica, I would
extreme.
say Vivica's role. Ooh, what you think? No, Megan Good too old for that right now.
I don't think so. I don't think she's
Yeah,
too
Megan
old.
Good older than us, boy. Uh,
Okay.
who else? Because that would be the fourth
What
one.
about Cardi B?
Cardi B, nah. They tried to
You don't
give
think
her a chance to act. She can't act either. They gave her in the Fast and the Furious, and nah.
when the fuck was she in Fast and the Furious? That must have been
Exactly.
like number 10 or 11 or some shit that I
Like
don't even care for no more.
9, 8, one of them. She was in
Some
there.
dumb shit.
Yeah. She broke him out. She the one broke him out.
Oh,
She said no,
okay.
she can't act. Uh I don't know who they could get to
Damn.
play Vivica role because you got to because Stoney wasn't no punk.
She was tough in that bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the fucking procedure when you got a gun in your head? Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I
who
don't
gonna play
know.
that role?
I don't know, bro. Cause
That's
it
the
got to be
role you
somebody
give to
with some.
Glorilla.
No.
You give her Jada role?
You got to give her Jada role. You got to
No,
give her
man.
Jada role.
Glorilla more of Stony role to me. Cause Jada is more she didn't really want to do it, right? She was the one that was more cautious and
Yeah.
I would
But
say
but
she
have
would
you seen
probably
the Glorilla interview though? She's really a like the interview she did with Shannon Sharp. She's really like outside the rapping. She's really a kind of more laid back type of person. She's not really with the rah rah rowdy shit.
no, but she make that kind of music. Talking about told me it's a
Mm,
Ray.
it's
It's
a
a
Ray.
Ray.
I'm not sure
It's
who
a
that
Ray.
is. Who is that?
For which role? For Jada role or for Stony? For Vivica role though. I wish I could show you who Issa Rae is.
Yeah, I'm gonna
She
have to look.
she she
Hold
she
up.
might be. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Hmm, I like that one.
But either way, it would
Uh
be a classic
oh, for
though.
Vivica role.
Vivica Rowe,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we say that's still a classic.
for sure, for sure. Even more of all of these today is gonna be even more classics nowadays. Even more so.
I don't know. Love Jones. That's
Ooh.
Nia Long, Tay Diggs.
Yeah, yeah. There's some other ones in there. I forgot their name. We got a lot of great
We
black
got a
actors from
bro.
back in the day that
We
didn't
got a
get the
lot of good
recognition.
movies.
Yeah. We really compete. We really blowing like the big media companies like with some of their movies, like we killing they shit. But um Love Jones
Love
though,
Jones is different
classic
because it's
music.
based on love. You
Yeah,
break
I don't
up, you
think
get back together.
yeah. I don't think
With
Love Jones
today's
was hit the
mentality,
same. Mm-mm.
ugh. Nah, because we
I
still
don't
had
think it will.
that type of mentality where we was trying to date our women and court them.
Right,
That's what it was
right,
called then.
right.
You say
Yeah,
told
yeah,
y'all '90s was lit. You ain't
yeah.
lying. Cause now
Because
that we damn, the more that we
Lorenz
go
Tate,
through this shit,
Lorenz Tate gave all dudes the blueprint on how to get a woman in a real way. When he
what?
came with these poems and the smooth riding a fucking motorcycle and shit, niggas ain't
See
never
me,
seen
they
no
call
shit
me
like
brother
that.
to the night.
You know what I'm
I'm the funk on
saying?
your left side, trying to
He
become what he say, trying to become the funk on your right. I said,
man,
ooh, it was
hey,
different back then.
he gave us young dudes all the game. You better believe
It
I
was
use
different.
that on somebody. Shit, you better believe that, goddamn. So yeah, I would
Yeah,
say it wouldn't be a classic now. I don't think. So average, I would say average, but that's still near and dear to my heart though. So I don't care.
yeah. I say it would be average just because the mentality of this younger generation has changed. Now, as
Yeah.
far as us, we'll probably, we would
Oh
enjoy it
yeah.
because
Right.
that's
Because we
that's
from
our
that
type
still
of
though.
yeah.
We from that
But as
still. Yeah.
far as the newer generation, I don't think they
Mm-mm.
would
They
the
ain't with
same.
it. They ain't
They
with it
ain't
like that.
not that move.
They ain't standing
You
out in
got
no rain for nobody.
oh no.
Ain't
Mm-mm.
nobody nowadays standing in the rain for nobody, man. This sad too.
No. Today a chick tell you she going to New York to see somebody else, he gonna do just like Tate Lorenz Tate did and say, go ahead, but this time you can't come back.
Right. Ain't no coming back. What? I don't know. I don't
Last
know though.
one.
Little dudes is emotional, so they might
Yeah,
crash
they be
out.
fun too.
Yeah.
New Jack City.
Ooh. I think it would be average though. I think we done played out the drug lord movies.
I don't know, cause Snowfall was just a #1 show.
That's a series though. Series is
And
a
then
big
Bumpy
thing.
Johnson, Godfather of Harlem, is still going.
That's a series too though, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a series, but
I
I mean,
I don't I think it
it
would do
depends.
good.
This
Don't
another
get me
one
wrong.
depends on who they get to play each role. Who you gonna get that was Wesley Snipes? Who you gonna get that was Ice T? Who you know what I'm saying? Like it, it's different
Damn,
because
yeah. Who would you
of the
get for us?
roles.
Who would you get for Wesley Snipes' role?
We're gonna be Nino Brown today.
No,
Who
hell
who
no.
can who
I don't even think they can cast. They can find the right people. The what it took to be that role. You're not allowed to be that no more. You remember that phone that scene where he was like, "Hey, baby, you still mad at me?" And before she could even, he said, "Fuck you, then I'm gone." That
yeah.
wouldn't fly no more. That
No.
energy, that toxic masculinity wouldn't fly nowadays. So I think it'll be average. I don't think it will go.
Mm-mm. I it would I say it depends on if they don't get they can mess it up. I say that if
It's
they
easy
didn't
to
get the
mess
right
up.
actor. That one right there, they could really mess it up because
Yeah,
it wouldn't be messed up to the new generation. It'll be messed up to us because we know
right.
what it
The
was.
original.
And if you
Right.
don't do it any favors, at least get close to what we was used to, it ain't gonna be right to us.
Right. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So it yeah, I say it would probably be average. And that's
Yeah.
crazy for New Jack City to
New
be
Jack
average
City was the
today.
shit, bro. But just the
New
whole
Jack City.
concept, like, just the whole concept of drug dealing, like, it's not that no more. It's just not relevant.
It people don't really look at the dope boy the same as they used to now. He ain't
No, that shit
glorified
played out now. That shit played out
because
now.
nigga the nigga that get glorified now is the shooter.
Right.
Back
The
then we didn't want to know
dumbass.
we was the shoot. We didn't want you to
Right.
know we was the shooter. Now they telling
Right.
you they the shooter.
Right. The shooters got all the clout now, but don't
Yeah, the
yeah,
shooters
no.
got understand.
The shooters was
Yeah,
always the dumbest niggas though. Everybody out. If you was ever in the streets for real, the shooters was always the dumb nigga. Again, the Gucci Mane type niggas who didn't have shit going, don't know shit, don't think about shit, don't
crash
consider
out.
shit.
We call them
Just a
crash
straight
out.
crash out, just a crash dummy, just dumbed in a box of rocks. Ain't got shit going to do anything to prove theyself. Get your ass out there and do that. Come on, bro. So now that shit dead, and I'm glad it's dead. That shit fucked us over as black men.
It fucked up the whole community.
Yeah, for sure, for
That's
sure.
all I got tonight, bro. That was the last segment. Anything you want to add?
Man, not for real, man. Just I say it every show that we do, we kind of touch on, kind of everything that's going on in Africa and just being smart about what's going on in America and being mindful. And man, start
Right.
strategizing, start planning, uh, start communicating with your people. Like communication is big. Be able to have a conversation without completely falling out about shit every single time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just building the black community at least to be half-ass decent. Fuck, what are we doing, people? So just that, you know what I'm saying? Shit gonna get real in America. Everybody know that real quick. Like, consider getting up out of here. You know what I'm
Yeah. We
saying?
could.
Other than that, I don't got nothing, man. It's been a great ride up to this point, man. I'm enjoying it. So
Y'all like,
hello.
subscribe, follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this. Make sure you share it so we can get in the
Share it.
algorithm.
Yeah.
Share this, share this, share this. We'll be back Monday at 8. Tell them where to follow you at. You can follow the Black Club
Hey,
on all platforms.
yep,
Spotify, if that's what you
yep.
listen to. Apple. We on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Follow me there. Where to follow you at, bro?
Yeah, Easy does it on all platforms. Easy Y. It's not EA. It's Easy Y underscore DUH like DUHZ underscore it. So Easy does it on all platforms. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter now. I'm on TikTok now. I'm old, so I'm trying to get used to all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Instagram, all that. So follow me everywhere. I'm gonna start going live and really start tapping in with my little fan base when I start getting some people in here. So for sure.
So we appreciate y'all that's been sticking with us, man. If you notice from the first show to this one, we starting to get better at it. It's a journey.
Yeah,
We getting better at
it's a
this.
journey. We
Starting to get more
appreciate y'all
comfortable
rocking
with
with
it.
us. We appreciate y'all
Yeah,
rocking with us.
we'll
If
be
y'all got
back
some topics
on
y'all want to talk about, throw them in the chat and we'll try to jump in there and interact and go over and give our opinion on some of this stuff we're talking about. I don't know who this is with the N
yeah.
words and the watermelons, but we ain't gonna worry about you. Get out of here.
We don't, they just somebody want attention.
Yeah,
That's how
somebody
you
want
do that.
attention for sure.
They lucky I ain't got moderators yet, but once I get some moderators, they won't even be
Oh
able
yeah,
to do that. I ain't even,
for sure.
yeah, they just want attention. But we appreciate y'all. Be back, come back with us and rock out.
Peace and blessings, people.
Already.
For sure.